do you think that kind of level of formality and politeness is different between the UK and the US?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, of course.
Okay. In what
Absolutely.
way? I've never been
Um,
to the US.
you've never been to the US?
No,
Oh my
I want
God.
to.
Wow. It's, there's, God, I don't even know how to describe it because I think I think for me, when I really got a chance to see the stark difference, um, I grew up, so my mom, my family's Caribbean. And for that reason, they are all over, they're across the Atlantic. I have family in the UK, family in the Caribbean, family in the US. And so my mom, she spent, you know, the first maybe part of her life in the Caribbean, and then she spent a large part of her life in Britain, and then she raised us as kids in the US. So we had cultural bits coming from the Caribbean and the UK that it was just part of life. So I didn't really make much of a, just it was part of life. I didn't see much of a difference. When I started working for British government, it became like a nucleus. I'm at my job from like 6:30, 7 o'clock to 7 o'clock at night, right?
Mm.
You're doing the stuff for the UN. So you're in this little nucleus and you're in this bubble and you're living that 5 days a week. And then when you leave and you go into New York life, you have this very staunch difference about what the culture is. So you have British culture and then you're back into American culture and you keep flip-flopping like that. That was when I really started to see the difference between formalities. So I would say with British culture in general, minus my family, with British culture in general, I would say there is maybe, and I do preface this, that maybe there is a difference between British government culture, which I think there's a difference between British culture and then the government culture. In British government culture, there's much more of a desire to be as indirect as possible, very, very indirect. There's almost like a nervousness about stepping on someone's toes accidentally. And then when that action is done, if you do step on someone's toes, or if someone has offended in any way, shape, or form, it can become almost explosive, but very undertoned. So you see a lot of the rippling effect. You don't necessarily see the pebble drop in the water. You see the rippling effect of it. In American culture, it's quite different. It's quite the opposite. I think there's more of a directness with formality. I think a lot of times you have, I think in a way, American culture, minus all the negative sides, American culture is just very friendly. So when you are dealing with the formality, it's very much in your face. It's, oh, hi, how are you, boo? It's very much in your face. It's not so much direct. It's not so much kept back. And so I would see these kind of different push and pulls between the two cultures, walking in and walking out of my office space. But I would say that the place where they kind of come together is whenever there's some type of like empowering or team building or some kind of exercise where you're trying to mobilize a group. That's when you start to see the formality and the kind of informal behaviors kind of meld with each other. And then you won't see much of a difference between, oh, this is American culture and, oh, this is British culture. The culture becomes, oh, how do we engage with each other in a positive way? So if that's the goal, especially for when you come, whenever you get a chance to come to the States, if that's the goal, to kind of find the moments where, you know, we're coming together and we're empowering each other. From what I've seen, especially as a person who travels a lot, there's not much of a difference, in my opinion, between how Americans come together and how Britons come together when we're trying to do that one positive thing. It's the extreme side. It's when you want to remain as formal as possible for business culture, and when you want to be as indirect as possible. That's when I see a staunch difference. I don't think one is better than the other. I just think it's something to be highly aware of.